Hello and welcome to Property Mastermind Podcast, episode 230. Today we are talking the property developers Christmas checklist. Now you might be listening to this as it comes out or later, so you can actually use this checklist any time of year. But we're going to unpack a few things you might want to do during the holidays, over a break, or just in general when it comes to property development. Let's jump on in. Hello and welcome to Property Mastermind Podcast, episode 230. As I said, the property developers checklist for Christmas. That's what we're going to unpack today. Welcome, Bob.
Oh, thanks, Hilary. Great to be here again. Thinking about Christmas. That's all I can think about.
I love that you're thinking about Christmas. I really do love
it. I know why.
Why is that?
Oh, you just love presents.
I do love presents. Oh, I'm not
But
like...
you love giving too.
Oh, yeah. I'm not. My love language isn't gifts.
No,
it's words of affirmation and acts of service.
Yeah, and pretending you really love the gift you got.
Yes, you always pretend you love the gift you got. But anyway, Bob, what's your tip for the day?
Oh, something around that maybe. Speaking of presents, yeah. Guess what?
What?
You can't wrap up a DA.
No.
But you can get it ready for next time.
Right.
Or next year or after Christmas.
Perfect. Love your advice, Bob. Thank you for that pro tip. Today we will be giving the book away to Sam Elliott. The book's on its way to you. Can't wait to chat to you but later today. Anyway, shall we be in touch? We'll get the address and it is on its way out. Head straight to page 121 and read why Bob explains to you why development is the pinnacle of all property strategies. Okay, so today we're really going to be covering off on end of year admin, tax, feasibility updates, setting up your milestones for next year, what you need to tick off before or during the break, and just a few things that Bob might do and has helped with his successful journey. So Bob, let's get started with what should every developer really be doing right now as we're heading into Christmas? And maybe you listening, you're not heading into Christmas, it's after that, but this is kind of a prompt for something that you might be able to do. But what do you say, Bob, that people should do this time of year it is the busy time? You know, it's early December, things start getting crazy. You and I both talked this morning about how we might get those lists a bit more organised because we've got a few things to check off before we head into eating too much food.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing about Christmas is it catches up fast.
Yes.
Like I was shocked the other day when I worked out it was less than 4 weeks to Christmas, whenever it was last week, whenever I worked it out. Oh, my goodness. But you don't know. And because it can come up and catch you so quickly, you got to be prepared for that break. For example, do you have any important milestones coming up in your project that will be affected by Christmas? And if they are, how much are they going to be affected? Christmas coming up, people shut down. And they shut down for all different lengths of time. And who are you dealing with that you might need to talk to?
Well, just us, ourselves. We're dealing with something where we're going to be settling on January the 7th, which means there's a fair bit of organisation happening for me because I'm sort of sorting out the finance side of things. That last week to the point where my stomach was knots thinking, oh my goodness, will this happen? But we definitely fall into that category because we are getting our ducks lined up as we speak. And I think what we have to remember and be respectful of is we ask people to push their boundaries. Like we're asking the accountant to do stuff for us. We're asking people to do stuff, the brokers, etc. And they're talking to the lenders. So that stuff's all happening. On top of that, we've all got Christmas functions. We're out tomorrow for a Christmas function. That wipes that out. We've still got Christmas shopping going. We leave a week early because we've got to, catch up. We're heading to New Zealand. And there's always, that's just us. That means every person we're dealing with is dealing with the same thing. So you're bang on that checklist, that organisation that you need to happen. That started for us, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It can come up so fast. You got to really be on the ball. And I had a large property settlement, right? So it was a multi-million-dollar property settlement on Boxing Day. Can you believe that?
Yes.
Actually got 2 sets of lawyers to it, through PEXA, thank goodness, not like in the old days, but I mean, it can happen, but geez, you've got to be organised. But that's what you've got to watch out for because it can leave a hole. Some people are away a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and hard to get hold of. They're on an overseas trip and you need to talk to your lawyer and what are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. What are you going to do? And that's that whole, just like you said, just be aware of what's coming up and who's closing down and what you must have done. But then, so that's on the must-haves. But what about in a lesser way, just things that you would, your checklist, and let's go you personally. You and I talked this morning about having to get stuff out of our head and write it down. So do you prioritize what has to be done and what you'd like to get done, or how do you do it?
Yeah, well, often I just have a brain dump, and just as it comes into my head, I put it down, but it's not in any particular order. I might be just on a particular, direction, and I'll try and think all that out, and then it'll be something else. I end up with a heap of points on a piece of paper. Then I have to organise that into priorities, and that's But first of all, it's just a brain dump for me, and you're constantly adding to stuff, and you're constantly reorganising because an emergency could come up today that'll just have to go to number one, and that I didn't even know when I woke up.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you have plenty of those.
Yeah. That's property development too. When you're busy and you're doing lots of things and different projects, it's always going to be like that. You've got to be able to deal with that change. If you had a mindset where you just want to be really well organised, everything happening ahead of time, stress-free, probably not. You're not going to get it.
I was questioning myself last week when I was under a little bit of pressure, just those tiny things that when you're doing a multi-people deal and, a typo or, a middle name missed or something where it just changes everything. Oh my goodness. I was questioning. It can be quite stressful when those little things are impacting. So Bob, what about, juggling numerous projects or even just if you're doing one, what do you like to do at the end of the year to to make sure your ducks in a row? What do you do there?
Well, same thing, like we talked about before, work out what's happening, what stage everything's up to, who you might have to deal with. Are they going to be available? Are they going to be away? And that might require some adjustment. Like even that thing you talked about before, we got a settlement coming up on probably the 7th of January, and you're busy doing the finance. But I mean, part of that is you have to have thought in advance about the valuation. It's no good getting a whole heap of paperwork done and suddenly realise, oh my God, I didn't order the valuation. There's just so many little moving parts that you have to understand to get the timing right. So moving into Christmas is all about that at the moment. Like I'm in the middle of almost simultaneously doing two fairly complex feasibilities, and my mind's just jumping from one to the other, and then I think, oh, hang on,
was that one?
Is that one or the other one? Oh, hang on. So it's going to be like that. But just preparing everything you can to give yourself a break. Don't just say, oh, look, I'm just not going to have a break. I'm just going to work through, Particularly in property development, I mean, the Christmas is when you could get a break. Builders going to take a bit of a break for sure. And if you're organised with everything else, you should be able to get a break, mostly.
Yes. I think we're talking people with more than one deal potentially. But if you just have one, or you're on your journey, it might be a different road. It might be a choice. You say, I'm taking 4 or 5 days off. I mean, I know working with the mentoring students, some of them are working full time and they've got children because they want to transition and change their lifestyle. So they are doing that double job almost thing. They're looking for their sites and they're learning about property development. So for people like that, or you, even if you're not in our mentoring program, even if you're in that position, it's a great idea to, I believe, decide that how much time you're taking off, so you don't carry around that great big bag of guilt, which is just wasted energy. So you either choose, I'm going to spend X amount of hours today on property development. I'm going to take 5 days off, 7 days off, 2 weeks off, whatever it is for you. Make the decision and let it go, and let it be the decision, and don't let it weigh you down where you're thinking, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. You're either in or you're out for a specific period of time or time frames during the day. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I forced myself once. I went on a cruise. It was only 10 days. But I think about 8 days of that, there's just no internet. I was uncontactable because I'm thinking all the time, oh, gosh, what if some emergency pops up, But anyway, guess what? I survived.
You did. You survived without the internet. Bob, how do you plan for a productive 26 or next year or next segment? So you might be listening to this after Christmas, your next quarter. How do you plan for the year ahead in your head? The year ahead in your head.
The year ahead's like already started in your head. Because, you think of an average project, say a duplex, could be 20 months, 22, 24 months, complete beginning to end. So that's a period of time. I mean, you'd be thinking about that this year. If you started one now, the end of 2025, you'll finish it in 2027. And so thinking ahead is just part of the game. It's not something you suddenly think, okay, now it's the end of 2025, now I'll start to think about 2026. And they could fall into, making, what do you call them? Not intentions. What do a lot of people do at the beginning of the year?
The goal setting.
Well, that sort of stuff, yeah, but there's a name for it. What do we call that? When you set your intentions for the new year.
Yeah, intention setting is where you intentionally choose to, which is kind of goal setting. I use intentions or that word as more specifics to short-term frames. Like it's my intention today to have a stress-free day. It's my intention today to accomplish something. It's my intention today to do a particular task or to have a certain mindset or a frame of mind.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as projects go, they're just rolling. So, yeah, you're always planning ahead no matter what time of the year it is. But 2026, yeah, look, you might set some personal things like learn more about AI. Could be something as simple as that. And how might that help me in my pursuits?
Perfect. How can downtime be used as more of a time of reflection than stress? How people choose to, like me last week, I did get a little bit stressed. And on reflection, it all got fixed, but there were those immediate speed bumps that I had to hit.
Did the stress make it go faster, better? Or did it happen anyway because you did all the right things under stress?
I did all the right things under stress, but it was a little bit stressful. Because of the
stress
timelines.
Didn't add any positive thing to the whole thing.
No, it
but
didn't.
It happens.
You're so right. I think you've just got it there. Stress doesn't add anything positive.
No, and we all go through it.
Yeah,
it's easy to reflect after it, and oh yeah, of course that makes sense. But
so how do you do
when
that?
You're in the cauldron?
How do you choose to just not go, because you are pretty even keeled? Like it takes a lot for you to be stressed, or you just don't show it.
At least I don't show it. Probably.
Yeah.
Just being organised and being on top of the game, and like we talked about moving into Christmas, like we said before. Get everything done, get a list done. Don't wait too long. Don't wake up the week before Christmas. Oh my God, it's a week away and I've got all this to do. It's just being organised and moving into Christmas. Try and minimise the stress by being organised, accounting for the breaks, knowing that the world will keep turning if you have a couple of weeks off, and that'll help a lot. Not dragging stuff into Christmas.
I think that sort of goes back to what I just talked about at the beginning, just giving yourself, telling yourself how it's going to be for you when you're switching off, when you're switching on, and then choose to do that. So how do you keep your accountant happy over Christmas, Bob?
Accountant? I wonder if he's listening. Maybe.
We have about 5 different ones between us.
Yeah, we have different accountants and we have different lawyers for different purposes, but I think a little Chrissy present probably is always a good thing. What do you do for a Christmas present for the accountant that has everything? I don't know. But a nice bottle of wine's always a pretty good sort of a gift, even if somebody doesn't drink, they'll use it as a gift for somebody else, but a nice sign of appreciation. There'll be a few gifts
floating
heading
around.
Out. There might even be, you never know, might have a few gifts arriving on our desk. Who knows?
I think people don't really know what we do half the time. We've got people doing bits and pieces, but you've actually just made me think I probably need to send a couple. How far ahead as a property developer that's been doing it for so many years, you've done this over and over at least 40 times, where you've come to the end of the year, you've got that bit of a break, you've had small children, you've had children growing up, you've had all the stuff you do. It's you and I now, but how far ahead are your projections in your head? How far ahead do you think into 2026? This is for the people wanting to understand what goes on inside a real property developer's head.
Some of the stuff I'm thinking about at the moment and even working on goes way past 2026. So, but depending on what it is. So there's a couple of things that are well advanced. So, I'm looking at settlement, say mid-2026, like from a cash flow point of view, because as developers, it's all numbers for us. So we're looking at a builder who's well underway. He's likely to finish around June, thereabouts. So, you know, in my head, okay, well, money will be coming in. There'll be further sales. You know, that'll be done, dusted by the end of 2026. There's other things that'll only be starting in 2026. And so that's like, you know, juggling the balls, keeping this plate spinning when you're doing more than one thing, more than one project, doing multiple projects. So, yeah, but it's back to just planning. Like everything is. And planning means time in property development.
So you believe how much I get updated on the podcast. Like, as you're talking, I'm thinking, oh, is it going to be finished by June? That's great. Bob's actually referring to one of the industrial projects we've got going along. I'm thinking it's that one. And I'm like, oh, that's great to know. I thought you were going to say September, but that's great. It's always good for me to, my role is kind of in the business. We all have our own segments of what we do. Bob's overseeing the whole lot. So yeah, thanks for the heads up, June. I'm excited about that.
Well, he's flying.
I know. I want to go and see it.
The contract goes past June.
Yes.
I think it might be September.
I thought September, yeah.
But I think he'll finish early. And then we've got another one starts in February. Late February, probably. Similar type of thing, as you know.
And then we've got another one starting in February as well. So we've got a bit happening. But Bob, what's the thing that most developers forget to do at the end of the year? And so you're listening now, whether you've started developing, and even if you haven't, but you want to, I want you to start calling yourself a developer, because that sets your brain up to believe that you're a property developer.
No, some forget to have a break.
Yes.
So that's not good. Like I said before, it is a quieter time. So if ever a property developer is going to get a break, it's going to be over that Christmas period. That's when there's least things happening. So don't forget, other property developers might go in, you know, bit unprepared, bit rushed, like, you know, which creates stress at a time when you're supposed to relax, like we've been talking about. So yeah, it's all back to planning.
How do you use the break just to reset your mindset, to get things back on track, or just to make sure you're fired up and excited for what's coming?
Do non-business activities, but as soon as I hear the word mindset, I think of Hilary Saxton.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw it back to you.
I think what happens for me, I actually probably fire up in that time because I spend so much of my work time working with other people. I use that break time, and I suppose this is exactly it. I use that time to work on myself. So I will use that time, a lot of inward stuff. I'll actually start planning. I'll start goal setting. Believe it or not, I do start writing stuff out. I can't help it. It makes me feel better to get it out and just create a bit of a plan about what it is I would like to achieve, because things are often big. And as we all know, we get stumped on big. You might write down that you wanted to build a duplex, but crikey, there are 4,327,000 steps to that, and it gets frightening when you think, how do I even start? You think, okay, I need to find a site. What is step one? And so for my mindset, I like to unpack that stuff. Just get the big things out, write it down. I'm still old school. I like to see it. And there's a bit of research around writing. So when you use a pen and paper, around how that helps your memory as well. So I like to get it out and then start chunking it down into what the steps might be, because those steps will be chunked down into steps, which will be chunked down into steps, which will be chunked down into steps. So that's one thing, get it out of my head. And the other thing for my mindset is putting really good audiobooks and good things into my brain. And over the last couple of months, I don't know what happened, because I'm a real audiobook reader, tons and tons of them, I love them. But I've actually shifted and been reading or listening to a bit of fiction. And it's been, I think I may have done it for a rest, just to give my brain a break.
Yeah.
But I think I'm ready to go back to the stuff that helps me feel excited and feel motivated. Probably there's a few books I'd like to reread. Yeah, so for me, mindset is putting the good stuff in, getting the stuff out that needs to come out to stop me putting it on a loop and stop thinking about it, and just being planned to be organised, but also like you, have that R&R time. You and I will spend a bit of time on the back deck, relaxing, fishing, golf, doing all those things that we like to do that calm our brain down and make us feel good, catching up with kids and kids and kids, you know.
And kids.
Yeah, catching up with a few people. And I mean, that's already started, but just all of those things, just that's how I prepare, whether that's winding down and preparing up at the same time, but that's how my mindset sort of is easily fueled to sort of want to keep going.
I think maybe throwing in some extra golf lessons this break too.
Yes.
Because you're getting back serious again about golf.
Yes. I had an injury. Finally, after 2 years, my name has come up to finally join the golf club. That's how long the blooming waiting list is here. So I'm finally joining today. I'm so excited about that.
Coincided with your shoulder being good now?
After I tore it, blooming pulling up a big fish.
Yeah, that's incredible, hey? What a way to tear your shoulder.
Yeah, my
Pulling
goodness.
in a giant cod.
Oh, giant. It was huge. Bob, what's the best gift a property developer can give to himself?
We're on the Christmas thing. The best gift he can do is give to himself is relax, clean your head out of business, and just do things for yourself. I mean, Christmas is a family time. So because we got, partners and kids and even grandkids in some cases. And sure, that's a great time for family. But make sure you give yourself some personal time, some personal relaxation, something yourself personally. I think that's the best gift you can give yourself as a person. But because we're not islands, so we've all got relationships of all sorts. That's good. But beyond that, something personal yourself. I'm setting myself up here saying this to you, and I don't even know what that might be for me.
I know what it is.
Oh, okay. Tell me later.
Sounds to me like we're definitely fishing a bit more.
Fishing a bit more, yeah. But maybe even something for me solo. Ooh, what could that be?
I think you'd go camping with your son.
Yeah, that could.
You guys love a bit of overnight time.
Well, we do love camping. I know you're not. Hilary's not a fan of camping. For those that don't know, because of the snakes and bugs and creepy crawlies and things they don't have in New Zealand. So you weren't born. You weren't brought up with things like that. No. So you're over fearful. Yeah, so not a camper.
I've camped plenty in New Zealand, but there's no chance I'm over the camping thing. Though my days of camping are well done. But it is something that you like, and I think that you're right, Bob. Just taking that time for your thing.
Yeah, I love it because you're out there. You could be on, go up a beach, over a sand dune, camp up outside, little fire, looking at the stars, just reflecting. Yeah, that's what I like. So a little bit of solo time. Back to the question you asked me. The gift that a developer could give themselves, I think, just take a little bit of personal, even one-on-one personal time, and then back to the normal Christmas festivities. As
you do, gets a little bit fun and crazy, but yeah, I think that's a great idea. Well, I think we can wrap this one up, Bob. I think really we've been talking about. I think the theme of this one has been choose to have some downtime, choose to let go of everything that's in your head. It's not going to change. Stress is no good for anyone. And just for those who don't know, do you know what stressed spelt backwards is? Dessert. There you go. So maybe just have a wee bit of dessert and let it go.
I'm up for that.
You're
Christmas pudding.
Yeah, Christmas pudding. Ugh, yuck.
Yum.
Okay. Well, thanks very much, everyone. This is for preparing. And I hope when you listen to this, you take on a few tips. It's really around being organised, and I think it's a bit of an organisation reminder, and then plan in your head how you want to prepare yourself for Christmas. Okay, we'll catch you again next week. Bye for now.